Hey, I'm Terri Savelle. Thank you so much for watching. I want to talk to you today about you're being watched. Sounds a little creepy, but it's true. Remember that old song, I always feel like somebody's watching me? The truth is, they are. You never know who's watching you. You know, I went to a conference one time, and when I walked in, this gentleman came up to me and he said, "Do you happen to drive a white BMW with a pink license plate that says icing on it?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, were you driving today and eating a cupcake while you were driving?" I said, "Yeah, that was me." He goes, "Yeah, I saw you." Later, I thought, how embarrassing. I'm just sitting at the red light, chowing down on a cupcake, and someone's watching me. You never know who's watching you. Or I remember flying to Houston, Texas to go to Lakewood Church, and Joyce Meyer was doing a big conference there, and so me and some of my team flew out there, and as soon as I walked into Lakewood, this big guy, he was one of Joyce Meyer's security guards, bodyguards, and he said, "Hey, I just wanted you to know I flew over here on the same flight as you from Dallas to Houston." He said, "I was sitting right behind you." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, you and your team took like 40 selfies, And I thought, how embarrassing. We're sitting there taking all these selfies, I said, "Well, it takes a while to get the right angle, and I thought, how embarrassing, though. He's watching the whole time. Well, you never know who's watching you. People are watching you, and they're observing you. And it doesn't matter. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you're being watched. If you're an employee desiring to move up in the company, you're being watched. If you're a business owner, you're definitely being watched. If you're a student with big dreams, you're being watched. If you're someone at home preparing to go into the ministry, you're being watched. Well, the word integrity means that what you say and what you do match. Integrity, that's being the same person in front of people as you are when nobody's watching, or you think nobody's watching. And that's what I really want to stress on this podcast, is being a person of integrity. That no matter what, if somebody saw you driving, if somebody saw you on a plane, somebody saw you at home, they're going to see the same person in front of people as they are when nobody's looking. That you live a life of integrity. Well, like I said, integrity is living a life that, well, I didn't say this, but living a life that God honors. God honors integrity. I believe that having integrity can absolutely propel you into a successful life, or it can pull you back and destroy your future. If you don't believe me, look at somebody like Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong, I mean, what an amazing man. And then all of a sudden, it comes out that he wasn't living a life of integrity. And from what I've read, his 7 Tour de France titles were taken from him. The International Olympic Committee took his bronze medal from the 2000 Summer Games. The Livestrong Foundation asked him to resign from the board. He got one phone call after another from people, the sporting world made him one of the richest endorsers. This is what he said. "All of them parted ways with me." He said, "I don't like thinking about it. I don't know. It was a $75 million day." He went on to say, "I feel ashamed. This is ugly stuff." Well, a lack of integrity is your biggest expense. It can destroy your life, or it can cause you to live a life that God will promote, God will favor, and God will cause increase to happen. I was reading this story. Stephen Covey wrote a book called Everyday Greatness. And he told a story about integrity. But before the story, he talked about people with integrity are those whose words match their deeds and whose behavior matches their values. He said they honor commitments, they're dependable, they're known for doing the right things for the right reasons at the right time. Now listen to this. He said, while numerous tales of integrity take place in public settings where everybody can see them, often the most powerful examples occur in the quiet stillness of a private moment when no one else is looking. Well, the thing is, God is always watching, and he honors integrity. So he told this story. It was about a father and a son going fishing, and it says that, the little boy was 11 years old. He went fishing every chance he got from the dock at his family's cabin in the middle of an island in New Hampshire, or on the lake in New Hampshire. He said on the day before, this is the key, on the day before the bass season opened, he and his father were fishing early in the evening, catching sunfish and perch with worms. It says when his pole all of a sudden doubled over, he knew something huge was on the other end. His father watched with admiration as the boy skillfully worked the fish alongside the dock. It says, finally, he very gingerly lifted the exhausted fish from the water. It was the largest one he had ever seen, but it was a bass. The boy and his father looked at the handsome fish, gills playing back and forth in the moonlight, kind of dramatic. The father lit a match and looked at his watch. It was 10 o'clock in the evening, 2 hours before the season opened. He looked at the fish, he looked at the boy, and he said, "You got to put it back, son." The little boy screamed, "Dad!" Then he said this, "There'll be other fish." The boy said, "But not as big as this one." The dad went on to say, "You got to put it back." He said he looked around the lake. No other fishermen were on the boats or anywhere in sight. He looked again at his father. He said even though no one had seen them, nor would anyone ever know what time he caught the fish, the boy could tell by the clarity in his father's voice that this was not negotiable. He said, creature swished, he slowly worked the hook out of the lip of the huge bass. He lowered it back into the water, and the creature swished its powerful body and disappeared. The boy suspected that he would never again catch a fish that big. Then it says, that was 34 years ago. Today, the boy is a successful architect in New York City. His father's cabin is still there on the island in the middle of the lake. Now he takes his own son and daughters from time to time to go fishing, and he said he was right. He has never again caught such a magnificent fish as the one he landed 34 years ago. But he does see that same fish again and again every time he comes up again a question of ethics. So that marked him for life. And nobody was watching, living a life of integrity. Listen to what Oprah Winfrey said. Real integrity is doing the right thing, knowing that nobody's going to know whether you did it or not. Well, the bottom line is God knows. And I've said before, but I never want to give an impression that you can just live any way you want to live, make a big vision board, set your goals, speak them out of your mouth, and they're just going to happen. Wouldn't you rather live a life that God is going to promote, give you supernatural promotion and recognition and increase in prosperity? Well, living a life of integrity will do that. In fact, let me close out with this scripture. Matthew 6:4. It says, "Your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you in public." So, your life of integrity will cause you to be rewarded. If you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to this channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter so I can keep you motivated to achieve your dreams. Thank you for watching.